And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome here to Pole Day qualifying to see who will start on the pole for tomorrow afternoon's second race of the second season of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series powered by the WRA. Really excited to be with you guys. Want to let you guys know this now. I'm feeling a little bit better as my allergies are not becoming a problem. It's just me coughing and all that, but I will get through it eventually. So I don't think that's going to be an issue while I'm recording these races. Just giving you guys that heads up right now. Quentin Moore, who we saw in the Busch Series last week at Coca Cola, he is the first truck out onto the track, and along with several other drivers, we have 23 Go Homers fighting for the 12 spots available. That means 11 drivers will be heading home after this qualifying session, as we have cloudy conditions to start Go Home qualifying. Quentin Moore, of course, did not qualify for the Winston Cup race, did not enter in the truck race. So this will be his first attempt he is running. He puts up a 24.512. Mark Simpson, there is Ruby White, Rogel Dorn, Donovan Carter, there's Abigail Furling. A lot of these drivers had good runs at Coca Cola that are running very well in the standings. Jacob Foster trying to attempt his first race in the Craftsman Truck Series. He'll be doing that all weekend, as he's also trying to attempt the Busch and Winston Cup Series races this weekend. Timo Mauser. Maria Steiner, who, even though she's had a good result at Coca Cola, she is also a driver who needs to make the show every week until we lock the top 30 into the show. Trinity Lee had a good run at Coca Cola. Needs to qualify her way in this week. There's Rogel Dorn sitting on pit road. Here's one of the new new drivers, excuse me. And if I mispronounce people's names, I do apologize, because as I said, I haven't recorded in a while, number one. And number two, this is what happens when I'm doing this at almost 2 a.m. It's Jakira Takashi. If I said it right, let me know. If I said it wrong, please let me know as well. Xavier Rand going to try to attempt his debut. Sasha Bright, Lucian Bianchi in the 07, Anthony Ritchie in the 24, Zachy Panini, Pedro Sales trying to make the show. Same with Victor Alvarez in the 27. Scarlett Wallace, we've seen her in the Foster Series. She's trying to attempt to make this week's race for the Craftsman Truck Series. As you see, Mark Simpson in the 08. The 23, that is driven by Joshua Ambrosio, I'm sorry. Joshua, another driver I've never heard of before. Lucas Sales in the 31. There's Erica Douglas. As we're now about to approach the midway point of this qualifying session, that is the fastest driver right there, Ruby White, in the number 72, excuse me. Last week we were at excuse me, we were at Coca-Cola, say where all the Go Homers finished in that race that had to qualify on time. Lucian Bianchi 32nd at Coca-Cola, Ruby White 27th, Maria Steiner 21st, Trinity Lee 20th, Sasha Bright 18th, Erica Douglas 16th, Abigail Furling 15th, Timo Mauser 14th, Anthony Ritchie 11th, Zachy Panini 7th. Mark Simpson finished on the podium in the third position last week. Zachy Panini, by the way, just went to the top of the timesheet, say 23.897 for that 34 driver, or for the 34 truck, excuse me. And Zachy is top 10 in the points coming in this race, so good job to him. As we're at the midway point, on the bubble is the 12 of Donovan Carter. Slowest is Luis Hernandez. So, number of drivers who had good runs at Coca-Cola are in jeopardy of possibly failing to qualify for this week's race here at the Rockingham Speedway, North Carolina Speedway, also known as the Rock. Excuse me. I'm almost over this crappy cough and sickness, so please bear with me. And I'm going to throw a disclaimer. If anybody tells me if I derp in this qualifying video, this is what happens when you're recording at 2 o'clock in the morning. So just giving you guys that heads up. I'll announce this in the Discord. If you guys want to join the World Racing Association Discord, the link will be down in the description. I'll make sure to put the link down in the description when you guys see the official finish results for all the races. So that way, if you want to join the Discord, it will be down in the description or on my channel. So make sure you guys do that. And also, if you guys go on to enjoy these qualifying sessions and all the races I do on this channel, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Also, click the notification bell. That way you are up. That way you get a notification of when I will go live for either a race or a walkthrough I'm currently working on. Rogel Dorn in the 91.36 at Coca-Cola, so he's looking like he's about to fail to qualify for this week's race, which is a real shame. Because remember, we had only 42 trucks entered for the 42 starting spots. Since then, we've had more drivers sign up in between Coca-Cola and this weekend here at the North Carolina Speedway, also known as the Rock. There's Anthony Ritchie. He is right now nearing the hot seat. Scarlett Wallace is on the bubble. 24.047 for the driver of the 76 truck. And for anybody that's wondering why some of these drivers are at risk of failing to qualify, it's because we are still using Season 1's owner points for both the trucks and the Cup Series, because the Busch Series got a bit hectic on drivers who got owner points from Season 1, who was replacing who, yada, yada, yada. So Busch Series, it's only going to be the top 30 from the previous race, and also through the first few races that will be locked in. But if we do a Season 3, that will not be an issue, because we're going to do by car owner points. We're not going to do it by driver points for if there is a Season 3, which I'm hoping that is the case if people are interested in signing up. It looks like no one has touched that 23.897 for Zachy Panini. And the reason we're not seeing improvement, well, as soon as I say that, someone jumped up inside the top 3. That was Abigail Furling. She's tied with the 9 truck. The tiebreaker is that Abigail Furling is higher than the 9 truck in owner points. So she would win the tiebreaker, but she would be locked in the show. Trinity Lee jumped up to 9th quickest. But as I was saying, this racetrack can abuse tires really easily. And that's going to be something for drivers that are running all 3 series if they attempt to qualify for all 3 series this weekend. That's something that they're going to have to keep an eye on. We're down to a minute to go. That, by the way, puts Anthony Ritchie now on the bubble. That puts Scarlett Wallace on the outside looking in. And we're going to be talking a lot about tires at this racetrack here at Rockingham, North Carolina tomorrow afternoon, as well as throughout the entire race weekend. And of course, it is a cloudy day here for pole day qualifying for the go home side, so the track has a lot more grip than versus sunny conditions where it's hot and slick and your truck is not going to handle really good. Down to 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. That is it. If you're not on track, you are done for the session and you'll definitely not make the show. Not sure why Erica Douglas is coming back out on the track. And also, we'll talk about Rockingham's the way these trucks are going to race at this racetrack, especially if we have a sunny race. So that'll be something we'll talk about in the race tomorrow. Qualifying session is now complete for the Gorga Homers. This is, by the way, round 1 of 2 qualifying, because these 12 drivers that are locked into this week's race, they will be joining the 30 drivers from last season's owner points in the show this week. And Zaki Panini was the fastest in this qualifying session. Ruby White, Abigail Furling, Jakara Takashi, good to see he made the show. Pedro Salas, Victor Alvarez. If I said it wrong, I do apologize. I'm still learning Puerto Rican names, by the way. Sasha Bright, Quentin Moore makes his first truck start of the year. Trinity Lee, Timo Mauser, Mark Simpson, and Anthony Ritchie got the final transfer spot. Unfortunately, the drivers who will fail to qualify for this week's race here at the Rock: Scarlett Wallace, Maria Steiner. That's a big one there because she made the race at Coca-Cola. She's not going to race this weekend, so we're definitely going to have a point shakeup. I can guarantee you that. Donovan Carter, big run right there. Lucas Sales, Erica Douglas, who had a great run at Coca-Cola. Jacob Foster failed to qualify in his first race. Lucien Bianchi, Xavier Rain, Robert Dorn. The 23, if I go back to the sign-up video, so I'm not screwing this up, that was... Hold on, my phone's being stupid. Abalaz, that's the name, by the way. Joshua Ambrosio and Luis Hernandez. Those drivers, unfortunately for them, they will end up having to pack it up, put their trucks in the haulers, and make the long trip home. So they will have to try again next week at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So we will take a commercial break while we get the other drivers on track. We'll have more pole day qualifying for the Craftsman Truck Series right after this. Don't go anywhere, folks, here on the Blue Hedgehog TV. Welcome back to Rockingham, North Carolina. I do want to make one little correction. I said Luis Hernandez failed to qualify. He actually was locked in the show based on the top 30, so I don't know why I had the 17 in there. So I apologize about that little mistake. But then again, this is what happens when A, I'm just recovering from a little sickness, and B, this is being recorded at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Monday, just an FYI. So apologies about that. I just made that little fix in between the commercial breaks. So Luis Hernandez is not going home. He's actually locked in the show. So before any of you say nice derp, this is why I'm recovering from a little sickness and I'm tired, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning as I'm recording qualifying. Anyway, Anna Steiner, let's talk about her before I get some hate mail. So I go back to the results from Coca-Cola last week. Anna Steiner, 29th at Coca-Cola. She's looking to bounce back here this weekend at the Rock. Looks like same conditions we had in round 1, so that's pretty good that we're going to have cloudy conditions. So these trucks are definitely going to have a lot of grip. Question is, are we going to have a cloudy race or are we going to have a sunny race for tomorrow afternoon? Anna Steiner puts up a 24.594. Danny Johnson, who is locked in the top 30 based on last season's owner points by Jarrett Johnson, who's no longer in the series. 41st at Coca-Cola. He'll definitely look to bounce back. Danny Johnson is a rookie this season. There's Ruby White coming back out on the track. Coming out onto the track. There's last week's winner, Michael Brown, who gets his first career Craftsman Truck Series powered by the WRA win. As a result, he is your points leader coming into this afternoon's race. He will also attempt to qualify for tomorrow's to make the Busch race and the Winston Cup race this weekend. So we'll see how he can do in this race weekend. There's Ashton Ingersoll, Dara Schmidt. 35th for Dara Schmidt. Ashton Ingersoll. He finished 5th um, at Coca-Cola. There's Alina Ritchie in the one for Ultra Motorsports. Finished 8th at Coca-Cola. Anna Berger in the 66. There's Victor Alvarez. Chikara Takashi. Those two drivers just raced their way into the field. Gretchen Mueller. There's Timo Mauser. Ingrid Pollard. Maisie Creighton. Quentin Moore making his first start of the year. Dylan Ibrahimian. There's Luis Hernandez. Yes, I made that mistake. Forgive me on that. Right now, Dylan Cunningham is currently the fastest at 23.995. Dylan 38th last week at Coca-Cola. Driving the 50 this week is Carolina Bradley. She's making her first start on the season. This is a truck that is locked into the show based on top 30 in points. This truck will be in go or go home qualifying starting race number 5. So they're just using these first two provisionals. We will see Carolina Bradley in tomorrow's Busch Series as she will be she's locked in the show over there, or I'm going to actually have to double check that to be sure. So let me actually go check that now that I bring that discussion up. Carolina Bradley, if I can remember what ride she's driving. She finished 29th in her Busch debut. Well, she'll be 28th in points because the 64 is going to be attempting to qualify. Yes, the 64 comes in this race as the points leader, but it's not Liliana Beta this weekend. So, just an FYI. Right now, the 20 machine, that is Tatiana Guerrero, goes up to the top of the timesheets, 23.827 for the 1-800-4-phone Chevy Silverado. Doesn't improve her time, as we're down to 10 minutes to go here in this second round of qualifying. If you're not familiar with how qualifying works on this channel, round one you saw is go or go home qualifying. Round 2, the 12 drivers that transferred into the main event joining the top 30 in owner points from last season, in this case in the first 4 races. Running this week here at Rockingham, they are doing a 15-minute session. So round 1, 10 minutes, round 2, 15 minutes, which if you should do the math, that's 25 minutes. So there you go. What would have to assume for these drivers that race their way into this race is what kind of adjustments did they make in between round 1 and round 2. And yes, everybody did pass post-qualifying inspection. That was a little close there. Takashi got a little too eager, got too close to Sasha Bright there. But back to what I was saying, what I assume is that these drivers probably did some last-minute changes to their machines to get them ready for getting ready for the second round. Of course, they did not use the same set of tires they ran in round 1. They ended up getting a new set of tires. Remember, you get unlimited sets of tires here in all 3 series. And you just want to use this qualifying session to get into, well, you're hoping half of a fuel run here at the Rock. And tires, I believe, will be a big story tomorrow afternoon. If it's cloudy, I don't think tires are going to be an issue tomorrow afternoon. Another thing for these drivers is that, remember, excuse me, As, by the way, Ingrid Pollard, as I can't get to her, there she is, running the Excite batteries on her Ford F Series. There's Anna Berger. Another thing is, for these drivers that are going to be in the Busch qualifying tomorrow, is they're going to get to be on the track first and figure out, what they learn in qualifying that's going to apply them in the race tomorrow. 29's off the pace. That's not good. Dara Schmidt in trouble. Well, here's a good thing for Dara. If you're going to have a problem, thank goodness it happened in qualifying, not in the race. So something mechanical has happened on the Power Stroke Diesel Ford F Series. But again, if you're going to have that problem, glad it happened here in qualifying rather than in the race tomorrow. As we're looking at Cody Goforth in the number 7 machine. Cody Goforth is going to attempt to qualify in the Busch and Winston Cup this weekend, trying to become another driver trying to run all 3 series. There's Trinity Lee. Victoria Hughes. Victoria looking for a... So let me see where she finished at Coca-Cola. Looking at my points. She finished 34th, so she's looking to bounce back. Shyla Ascroft in the 2. Finished 19th at Coca-Cola. And like I said, a number of drivers ahead of her that failed to qualify for this race. This is going to be a really big shakeup in the points table heading into next week at Las Vegas, which is, by the way, our next race we're going to, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But remember, pole day qualifying will not be at 3 p.m. Eastern. It'll be 6 p.m. Eastern. Just an FYI, because note the time change there, folks, because we're running in the daytime. Or we're on the West Coast, actually. As in Peterson, the Lucas Oil colors this week. There's Ashlyn Wright. She will try to attempt to qualify for the Winston Cup race on Sunday. Didn't have a good truck debut. Finished in 39, so she's got time to get herself back up through the points table. Remember, you have to be in the top 30 in the points at the end of race number 4 to be locked into every race in the Craftsman Truck Series. Remember, she's trying to run all 3 championships. Had an okay run in Busch, had a decent run in Winston Cup, so there you go. Dara Schmidt, by the way, coming back out on the track. That was the 36 is 36 Skylar Davidson. Okay, it's the Busch Series driver change we'll need to talk about tomorrow. There's Dylan Ibrahimian. He's also another driver trying to make it into the Winston Cup race tomorrow. Maisie Creighton. Maisie finished 23rd at Coca-Cola. Excuse me. I was trying to figure out which track we were at. Gretchen Mueller in the 52. Samet Oskin, 32nd quickest here in this qualifying session. Carlos Rodriguez going to also try to attempt the Winston Cup and Busch Series races later this weekend. Anna Burr. There's Cheyenne Berkshire in the 15 machine. As I don't know, I hit the helicopter cam. My apologies, folks. There's Victor Abeles. We'll see how Victor will do in his Truck Series debut tomorrow afternoon. Bora Park in the 13. Bora will also be qualifying the Busch car tomorrow afternoon. Remember, Busch qualifying tomorrow afternoon at 1. Craftsman Truck Series race at 3 o'clock Eastern. We may have some of our Cup interlopers joining me in the booth, possibly for tomorrow afternoon's race. We'll see. So far, everybody's just being respectful to each other, so that's good. On the racetrack, there's Muhammad Zain, Michael Brown heading into the pits. And with the time we have left, I do not think anybody's going to beat a 23.827 set by Tatiana Noguera. That's still a very good lap for Tatiana Noguera. And she is. Let me see where Tatiana Noguera finished at Coca Cola. She was ninth, so good effort for Tatiana Noguera as she will look to turn that pole hopefully into a win tomorrow afternoon. We're going to have 59 laps of racing tomorrow afternoon on this little over a mile racetrack. And of course, this track you definitely can pass here, just like Coca Cola, except the only catch is, unlike Coca Cola, where you're going full throttle around the racetrack on a 3 mile super speedway, here it's you got to conserve your tires, you got to hope you have a good handling truck, you got to have a good long run truck, and also a good short run truck. So some of these drivers are just trying to see if they have a good short run truck or a long run truck. If we do get a green flag run going in tomorrow afternoon's truck race. And for those that are running hopefully in all three series, that's something that they can help going into possibly if they make the Winston Cup race on Sunday. Down to 40 seconds left to go in this qualifying session. By the way, I forgot to mention this to anybody. This race will be called the Black's Tire 200. If anyone's asking what the race name is going to be called. The Bush race tomorrow, if I look up the race name, as we're down to the final 10 seconds, it will be the North Carolina Educational Lottery 250, and then the Subway 400 for the Winston Cup race on Sunday. Zeros are on the clock. Looks like nobody has improved their time, so that means our grid is basically all but set. Oh no, we were on that cursive number for round 2 of qualifying. Oh well. Not like it's going to matter to me anyway. And there it is. That is your time. So Tatiana Noguera will start on the pole for tomorrow afternoon's race. Sasha Bright alongside Michael Brown, 1 week removed from his first win, which delighted team owner Nathan Norman. He'll be alongside of his good buddy Carlos Rodriguez. Number 2, Anna Berger, Ruby White, Bora Park, Victoria Hughes, Mohammed Zain, Doris Schmidt will complete your top 10. Looking through the rest of the qualifying results, just try to find your name where you guys are going to start. Track position really going to be a key factor. Alina Ritchie the slowest in this session, but remember, you can pass here. You just got to make sure you don't get out of the gray area off of turn 2 and off of turn 4 where you get in the wall. And we've seen it time and time again at this racetrack where drivers do that. They cause a massive wreck. So hopefully we don't see a lot of that in tomorrow afternoon's race. But a lot of drivers got some work to do in between now and tomorrow afternoon's race. But congratulations to Tatiana Noguera on her first pole of her Craftsman Truck Series career. Hope you guys enjoyed this qualifying session. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We showed your starting lineup for tomorrow afternoon's race here at the Rock. They will go green at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before that, the Busch Series qualifying at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to set their grid for their race on Saturday. The Craftsman Truck Series race will go green at 3, as I said, on Saturday. We'll have Winston Cup qualifying on Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Busch race on Saturday at 3, and the Winston Cup race Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until then, or until the next Truck Series race, which is tomorrow, I'm Indeed DeVoe signing off as you've been watching another broadcast of the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2013.